Ferris,
Nahle.
thanks for making the time, man.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it. Yeah, it's good.
We met this guy 3 days ago?
3 days ago.
Forbes event in Cleveland, and I approached him, and turned out he's a big fucking deal.
Actually, I was taking a video of you, and
I crashed, actually. I crashed your video, actually.
Yeah. No way. I'm glad you did. So, yeah, it turned out he's a big deal. We're going to talk about what he invented in 2015. And I learned a couple of things from him in business, and I want to share these lessons with you as well. Ferris, you got to start with this question. This is our signature question. When did you make your first million?
Yeah, we hit 1 million 2019, and it's about 4 years after getting started.
Fucking right. Good job. Did you want this first million faster than 4 years?
Yeah.
Yes? What was the goal? What was the projection?
Realistically, I think we could have hit it probably 2 years earlier. Just, 2 years in. I know it sounds very aggressive, but when you get rolling and you have a new idea, you're very ambitious. And sometimes you set really high expectations for yourself, and
So you think it was high expectations, or you could have done better?
I think it's both. I think you have to set high expectations. Because if you don't set high expectations, then you're kind of limiting your potential.
I see. So it's not like if you set high expectations, you're going to always feel down that you're not meeting those expectations?
Right. I think whatever you're trying to do, you can always think bigger. And that's what
I love.
That's why I went to the Forbes event, because the people there are thinking huge. And always just a reminder. Think bigger.
I love it. They humble you with their ideas.
Very humbling.
Like you think you're smart and rich, and then you go in there and you're like, oops.
Oh, yeah. And it's humbling because the world is so massive. So whatever it is that you're doing, you can always be bigger.
That's true. That's true. How old were you?
I was 23 when I launched the company, and then 27 at that point.
Damn, man. Good job. So you launched a company at 23. Mm-hmm. You made the first meal after 4 years. Do you have partners?
Yeah, so 2 co-founders when we launched, and now we have a team over a dozen.
How old were they?
About my age.
Was it helpful having people on your age, or you would prefer having older partners?
I think it's less about the age. It's more what they can bring to the table. So if someone has a lot of experience, they might be older, and that could be helpful. But there's plenty of young people out there who have experience and complementary skills.
Do you still have these partners?
One of them is our CTO now.
Wow, that's awesome. Mm-hmm. And how did you maintain this relationship? Like, you were all a bunch of 23 years old, immature boys,
20-year-old kids.
Idea. I know, and you came up with this fucking $1 million idea, and it's really hard to maintain. Like, I remember when I was 23, it's really hard to maintain a relationship because we have so much energy. We have, we don't know who we are yet. Yeah. So how did that work?
I think one thing we did really well is clarity of vision. We were all working towards the same thing. So even though we're very different people, and different goals, similar spots in life, because we're a bunch of 20-year-old kids, but we all wanted the same thing. And as a CEO, I set a clear vision of where we want to go, and we rallied it. We actually had another team member with us who's no longer with us. He started the company with us and just didn't align in that vision, and that's why it didn't transpire.
That's cool. I want to learn more about the relationship that you had with your partners, but after.
Sure.
For now, I want to know, what's your company? What do you do?
Yeah, we're a software company that helps people improve their swimming. We want people to improve their performance, their health. We train them with videos, analytics, software experience on your phone, Apple Watch. And yeah, it's been a grind.
So you go through your app, you watch a couple videos, and like from 101, how to skill, how to swim, and then you start following the instructions, and then you end up...
Yeah, swimming is actually very similar to weightlifting. So when you go to the gym, you could just hop on the treadmill, you could go and hit bicep curls for 30 minutes, but it's not as efficient if you follow a structured workout. And in swimming, it's the same thing. So doing, a certain amount of repetitions and distance and stroke variety, if you don't do that, then you're not going to be as fast. And a lot of people who use our app are trying to get faster at swimming. So having a structured plan is how you do that.
So you use your app to get faster at swimming and better, or to learn how to swim?
To the latter, to improve swimming.
Okay, I see. That makes sense. Because I'm like, okay, here's the big secret. I only learned how to swim 2 years ago.
Oh, Mabruk, that's amazing. You learned how to swim.
Dude, I barely can survive in a pool.
Hey, survival is important. You know what's crazy, though? 54% of people in the United States can't swim.
Okay.
That like half the population can't swim.
Wow, I was hoping it's a 1% because I like to be one of the 1%.
No, but like if you think about it, swimming it's a life skill. I mean, think about how close we are to water.
Yes.
People are going in boats, they can't swim. People are going in water and they can't even swim. So so when I meet people and they learn what I do, half of them are like, oh, that's so cool. Yeah, I swam when I was 7, or I love going to the pool and lounging. And then the other half are like, I can't swim. Can you teach me how to swim? So it's like this very interesting
I hired a
juxtaposition.
coach. I don't think I would have been able to learn anything without the coach. Because like
Yeah,
first
when you learn,
5 sessions, I'm like, fuck it, this is the last session. Then session number 6, fuck, I'm swimming.
Yeah, it
Now
doesn't
I
take
go
as long as
from
you
like
think.
from this side to all the other side of the pool, but I can't breathe. Like I'm
That's-
swimming and
I-
on only one breath. I'm like, I gotta get there before I lose my breath. Yeah, I'm like, I get there. And I smoke shisha, do a cigar. I'm like, fuck, my lungs are killing me.
My dad taught me how to swim by throwing me in the pool. I was 5 years
That's
old.
one method to do
I don't
it,
even
yeah.
think my
He
dad
just
knows
threw
how to
me.
swim because he didn't even try to teach me. He didn't offer me.
I got
to
the
teach
coach after. I did swimming for a lot of
Yeah.
years.
Yeah, but I want to learn more. I want to get the coach back and try to learn more, and then maybe we'll get your app to learn.
That's
how
the next
to,
step. Yeah, you learn how to
impress.
swim, and then
I'll
we
test
make you
it.
faster.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly. So, what's the success rate with this app? Like, do you have like high reviews, people loving it?
Yeah. So our biggest accolade, we were named App of the Year by Apple
Damn.
across every app category on the Apple Watch.
Shit, man.
So
Good
that's
job.
a pretty amazing recognition. And what's interesting about it, they don't tell you that you like win that until they make it public. So it's not like I knew about this before the press release from Apple came out.
You woke up and
So
you saw the press
no,
release.
literally, I get the Google alert and I'm seeing in my email, and Apple makes their announcement, and I get it directly, and then people start messaging me, and they're like, "Oh my god, this is so cool! Like, congratulations, App of the Year!" I'm like, "I just found out too." Like, this is great.
Why didn't you tell us?
Yeah, so because of that was pretty early on actually. We were in Sports Illustrated and a bunch of other
Wow.
publications because we were, the App of the Year, which was amazing. And that's helped us scale now to 2 million downloads. But at the time, it was a very simple, how do I train in the pool? And it's a great use case for the Apple Watch, and that's why I think
Why
we
did you
named-
create this app? Did you struggle with swimming? Did you see the need? Did
Yeah.
you lose someone? Like, what happened?
For me, similar.
Or
My
just
parents,
for the money?
No, my parents don't know how to swim actually.
Okay.
So when they came to the U.S. and I grew up where I did, you put your kids in swimming in the summer because that's how you get rid of them. You get rid of the kids in the summer, they go to the pool. So I learned how to swim with my brother, and then I did swim team. I swam in high school, college, and I basically just never stopped. But what happened is when I started swimming on my own, I started to get bored. Because if you think about it, swimming, you're just going back and forth in the pool. And if you don't have a team, you don't have a coach, it can be really challenging. And as a coach myself, people were asking me for workouts. They're trying to get better. And why are people asking me for help? They can just go Google this. They can figure it out on your own. I had the background, but a lot of people don't have that background. So I started the company to help people improve their swimming, even if they don't have a team or a coach, which is most people in fitness because they're doing it by themselves.
And is it more affordable to download your app than hiring a coach, I guess? That's
Exactly. You actually just explained the value prop. It's a personalized coaching at a fraction of the cost of hiring a personal coach.
Wow. I love it.
So, what was the amount of the seed money you needed for this application, and how did you raise it? Did you do crowdfunding? Did you pay from your own pocket?
Yeah, very interesting story. We were bootstrapped initially, 2015, just grinding with my 2 co-founders. We did a startup accelerator. That was our first investment a year in. It was $50,000. And then since then, we've done a few equity crowdfunding online rounds, and total we've raised about 1.3 million.
Why did you need the funding?
Really just to fill the gap between how much we were making from the app and actually like surviving.
So you were paying yourself salaries?
Well, in the beginning, nothing. I mean, we were the first year, and this was a mistake we made. We didn't monetize our offering early enough. The first year, we made zero money, $0.
What did you do in the first year? Like run me
We
through
were-
the first
yeah.
4 years until you hit the million. Give me
Sure.
like a shortcut.
Here's the,
but
the short
remember,
synopsis.
why I'm asking you this question, because there's people out there who
Right.
have an app idea and they want to start next month, and I want them to learn
Right.
from you.
Yeah.
So run me through the first 4 years
Yeah.
in a simple way and actually give value to my
Yeah,
audience.
for sure. Well, one of the most interesting
Or I'm
things,
not paying you.
Right, one of the most interesting things. So I'm a non-technical founder. So I didn't create the app myself. And people ask me like, I have this idea for an app. How do I create an app? And what you have to do is you have to validate the problem that you're trying to solve of why your app even needs to exist. So back in the day, when I had this idea, I actually created a landing page, a website that had the mock-up of the app, and I sent people to this website using Twitter. I even had a paid offering asking people, it's $5 a month, put in your email, download this app. The app didn't even exist yet. Now, what I should have done is I should have just monetized right there and then and actually start transacting and taking people's money. But I used this market validation to recruit my 2 technical co-founders.
Who gave you the idea that you should pay people money to see if they would download the app?
I think this is just lean startup. You just want to validate your idea. And the best way to do that, getting paid.
Who gave you this idea?
I had worked in startups before launching this one.
Okay.
So I was familiar concept. Like the only validation
That's a
you
fucking
can get.
genius idea. That's
Yeah,
what
the
I'm
only,
asking.
I mean, I think it's a little bit more common now than at the time.
Yes.
I sound maybe like I knew what I was doing, but I didn't know what I was doing.
Now you give away a free ebook, but you still give this idea to someone who has a course. Oh my god! That's a
Yeah,
great
no.
idea.
If you
Back
have if you have something of any kind of value, you need to charge for it, because if you're not, then you're not really validating if people actually want this or if it's actually valuable. So for me, back in the day, we had the app and it was just a mock-up. People were putting in their email to download this app that doesn't even exist. I used that to recruit my co-founders, and then we spent a few months actually building the minimum viable product of the app. We launched the app. It was free. That was the mistake. We should have had our paid offering immediately on launching. Just put a few things behind the paywall.
Even maybe $1 or $2.
Just putting
Put a price.
anything. And we were actually concerned when we started monetizing 1 year in that we didn't have enough that you get. And it's like imposter syndrome. It's like, oh, this isn't good enough. It's not ready. We can't make money off of this. No, it's good enough because people are using it and they repeat using it. So clearly there's some value. So a year in, first year, 2016, we made less than $20,000. And I know that's like something. It's not nothing, but it's not significant to
How
support
did you make the $20,000?
3 people. In-app subscriptions.
How much was it?
Yeah, so at the time it was $10 per month. And that was it. We didn't even have a yearly offering.
So you didn't have many subscribers. If $10
No,
a month,
I mean,
that means 120.
yeah, like
a
barely
year.
anything. Yeah, so when we launched, we were just getting a few downloads. We had a few subscribers, 10 subscribers,
They
50
were
subscribers.
locals or from
Just
across
people
the
from
world?
the App Store. You type in swim and we popped up, and we were building a social media audience at that point. So maybe we had like 10,000 followers. So
Okay.
we had people a small segment of people who were paying attention. But yeah, year one, less than 20 grand, 2016.
What happened in year two?
Year two, 2017, we improved the app. We add a yearly offering. So that's $15 a month, $100 a year. And we passed 100,000 in 2017. 2018, we were about 500,000. And then we were like 1.1 million in 2019. And then, started building out the team because you have money to hire people and investing in marketing and rebranding and everything like that.
What is the biggest thing that helped you to grow and double this income? Because, first year, like you were like tripling every year.
Essentially, yeah. In the beginning, it's actually not that hard when your numbers are small. So going from, $10 to 100 is a 10x, but these are not big numbers.
Yes.
So as you get larger, it becomes more difficult. But in the very beginning, some of the biggest things that we did to actually improve our conversion rate was just making the app better by talking to people who use it. I know it sounds really simple, but we just made the product better. And so
you reached out to your
the customers, the customers.
by email, by like
Everything. Email, in person, phone
Nice.
calls, Zoom calls. And that's what you should do when you're starting out. Like if you don't have a massive business already, it's probably because your product's not very good. It's probably not solving a
I like this
specific
one.
enough problem.
Yeah, there's a reason why.
Like,
Not
there's a
because you're
reason why.
unlucky. Yeah.
No, it's like you're not creating enough value. Because if it was so amazing, you're going to have word of mouth. If your app and your product, whatever it is you're creating, is so good, people are going to tell other people about it, and it's going to grow a lot faster than you think. So if it's not growing really fast, you need to hit the drawing board and just make the product offering better. And sometimes you actually have a pretty good product offering, but you're in the wrong spot or maybe at the wrong time. So it's like me trying to market swimming, and I go to the basketball court, and these people are not swimming. Like I don't have the basketball offering, right? So, but if I go to a pool, I'm in the right spot. And the same thing applies digitally, right? If you're these online communities, Facebook, like we have our own Facebook group, but even that's the power of the internet. You can go online, you can create the content, and if it's branded appropriately, the people in my case who swim are going to see it. They learn about our brand. And yeah, so in the very beginning, the increase in growth came from improving the product.
I want to recap about if I have an idea, I want to start an application.
Right.
So give me like in a very simple way, in 10 words, what are the steps that I should use and I should do to launch?
To launch an app.
Yes. Like there's a young entrepreneur there,
Right.
23 years old, lost,
Yeah.
but has an incredible idea. And maybe
Yeah.
they can code and make this application, but
Okay.
they don't know where to start.
Yeah. If you want to create an app, think about one target customer and build the experience for them. Launch as fast as possible and then get feedback and make it better.
I love it. This video should go viral.
That's how it works.
So when you're getting feedback and you mentioned the drawing board, what are the non-negotiables that you're not willing to compromise on when making this application, whether it's in the way you're branding it or in the actual creation of the app?
I mean, you have to make sure it's solving that problem, because if you go and make a product that doesn't actually solve that one customer's problem, you're basically just wasting your time. So that's the non-negotiable. Is this actually going to help someone? And sometimes it's like, well, it could help this person. It could help this person a little bit. It should help one specific person a lot, because we all like to think we're unique. There's tons of people who have the same problem that you have. So whatever it is that you're creating, make sure it's very specific to solve a problem. And if it doesn't, then you're most likely going to fail and you're going to start over. So may as well just start out. That's the non-negotiable. Build something that solves a problem.
Have you ever thought of quitting? You and the other partners?
Really, no. I think we've always had this conviction, especially for me. Maybe I can't speak on behalf of other people, but on my team. But we've always believed strongly in what we're doing. And I personally have a lot of conviction in what I'm doing. So I never really thought about quitting per se, but my approach has changed. So I used to think, we're going to grow in a certain way. We're going to hit certain numbers. We're going to do certain things. And I've learned over the years, and I've changed. I've grown up. I've become a man, right? Like I think in some ways. So I've grown up, and I realized some things are more important than others. And over the years, I've changed the strategy a little bit, but my conviction remains the same.
Have you ever had a coach, mentor? Did you hire any professionals to help you out?
Yeah, I haven't formally hired like a one-on-one coach. That's a good idea. Maybe I'll consider it in the future. But I've surrounded myself by a lot of really successful people who can give advice. And I think that's the best thing. You're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with.
How did you learn? What's your strategy about learning? Do you read books, podcasts?
I consume a lot of content. I watch a lot of YouTube videos, podcasts, audiobooks, but really even just coming to an event like Forbes, because you're going to meet people who are maybe one step ahead of where you want to be, or maybe you can help them. That's fine too.
You have to add value too. You have to be, the best way to get help is to help others.
Exactly. And what a lot of people don't realize is when you teach or you help someone else, you actually learn yourself. Because if you can't distill something that's complicated simply, you probably don't understand it well enough yourself. So even if you're trying to learn yourself by teaching other people, you actually improve that craft yourself.
That's right. That's very important.
Mm-hmm.
So tell me a little bit more about when you hit the million.
Mm-hmm.
What did you do? What is the first thing that you did? You bought a house, you bought a watch, you took a vacation, you broke up with your girlfriend or boyfriend.
Oh my God,
what
I knew he
happened?
was going to say that.
Really, nothing too crazy.
I'm a millionaire, bitch. Get the fuck out of here.
No, I mean,
next.
Because at the end of the day, like, I think it's important to fall in love with the process. So even though now we're doing more than that, it really doesn't matter because the ambition is much larger.
So you didn't celebrate? That's what I'm trying to say. Like in a polite way, let me ask.
No, but I have a fun story actually.
Okay,
So the timing is appropriate for that. So 2 years prior to this million mark we're talking about, in 2017, I needed to go to a conference. And at the time, I didn't have very much money. So I'm trying to be like really cheap when I go to this conference. And I couldn't find like any hotel that was affordable because the conference, everything was jacked. The prices were so high. So I find an Airbnb, but it wasn't any Airbnb. It was a couch. So I slept on a couch on Airbnb. I didn't even know you could get a couch on Airbnb. And all because I was trying to be really cheap. So I'm trying to save money on this conference. Like, I got expenses and stuff. 2 years later, we're at that million mark. And we have a team of 10 people, and I rented a castle on an island in Spain for our team retreat.
Cha-ching.
And it's interesting, that was about 2.5 years later. So to think 2.5 years prior, I rented a couch on Airbnb, and then I got a castle for our team in Spain.
That must feel great, man. Eh?
Yeah, it was amazing. I didn't do it as like a flex. It was just, this was a good opportunity.
Yeah, why not cheat the team?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
So the first 2-3 years, you weren't making that much money. Did you have a job? What was the job?
Yeah, initially all three of
And
my
when did you quit?
partners. Right, so in the very beginning, I was working at another startup and I was coaching swimming. My 2 other co-founders were software engineers. So we were all in a different financial situation. So I actually went full-time on this business relatively quickly. Just took a few months and I started working on it full-time. My other 2 co-founders took a little bit longer, different financial constraints. One of them had $150,000 in debt, right? So you need a job, to keep paying that off. I was living at home. I was coaching swimming. And that was enough to not make any money.
You had something to survive.
Exactly.
What changed about you before you hit your first million and after? What changed in you as a person?
I think you get confidence when you build something. And I don't think a number, it might be a number for some people. For me, I don't think it was that. But just when you launch something, you get a lot of confidence. When you hit certain milestones.
Were you lacking that confidence prior?
I wasn't lacking it, but it just gives you more confidence. And I think for some people, it's a huge boost of confidence. I've just incrementally gained more confidence, even well before that, just launching the product, recruiting a team member, making any money whatsoever.
Right?
Like it compounds. Yeah. Because I mean, even at like age 25, I'm like running a company. Most people 25 are not
They're still
running
in school,
anything.
they're trying to.
Yeah. So and at that point, I'm getting a little bit of external validation. We were app of the year when I was in my mid 20s, right? So we're getting this external validation beyond anything financial. And in some ways, that's actually, for your ego at least, it makes you feel better when you have this external validation.
As
someone
an Arab man,
interviews you.
Yeah.
important, yes.
Yeah, so you try and check your ego at the door, but at the same time, you get a lot of confidence.
Were you trying to make yourself proud or someone else, like a parent?
I think everyone has some level of you want to make your family proud, especially being the son of 2 immigrants. Right, you feel that you want to make sure you're doing something respectable. At the same time, in the very beginning, they were wondering when I was going to go get like a real job. So it's like this balance of like, all right, it's cool, and now here we're doing an interview, and it's like, no. It was definitely. I mean, they support me, right? Like I'm living at home and like feeding me and stuff. So it's definitely a community.
They gave you the couch for free.
No, that was at a different place. I had to pay
I know.
for the couch.
What was your perspective about money before having the money and after having?
This is really interesting because I didn't grow up like poor by any standards, but like we weren't like loaded or whatever. So we were like middle class.
We buy clothes on Christmas.
Yeah. We're just living day by day. Yeah. And so now I think I have a little bit more flexibility, and I'm a little bit more cautious actually about just spending money, and sometimes I do things that don't make any sense. Like I won't do the couch example. I won't rent a couch now. I'll get a hotel, but I'll still be maybe cheap with some things, just because I think that was ingrained in my mind of like not blowing your money. And sometimes I catch myself or even other people, I see how they're spending money, and I don't know. Maybe in the future I'll be a little bit more fluffy with my own investments, but for now I'm actually not that much different than I was before.
So you still think about money the same way you think about it right now?
Similar. What I do understand now differently than before is how I spend my time. So before I didn't really value my time like I do now. Mm-hmm. So before I'd be willing to walk for 2 hours to get somewhere if it meant saving money on like an Uber or something like that. It's an extreme example.
So you do look very healthy. You brought this topic up. What's your routine? Do you just swim 6 hours a day?
7 actually, 7 hours a day. Some people work 7 hours a day. I swim 7 hours a day. One benefit of building a fitness
add this feature
product,
after 8 hours swimming.
After 1 minute of swimming. Yeah.
They see him. The team sees him going into the pool. They're like, no more work for us.
Actually, it is a part of our culture, company culture, to go to the pool and swim and use the product, which is great.
It's the lab.
Exactly. It's a lab. The swimming is the lab. Yeah. For me, I guess I'm lucky in that I'm building a fitness product. So it's a lot easier to be around the gym and the pool. I lift weights almost every day, and I swim almost every day as well.
And how's your diet?
My diet's not as good as it could be. I eat too much hummus and shawarma, and
These are good. What are you talking about?
I binge on the knafe. I don't know. Like the benefit of
His Arabic is hilarious.
the benefit of working out so much is that I can kind of like eat a lot and it doesn't
smoke?
look like it. No, I'm healthy. No, I don't do that.
Okay.
No smoking.
That's where I draw the line.
When I eat hummus and shawarma, I think I'm on a diet. What are you talking about?
You're draining
That's
the
good carbs.
Isn't that finger food? That's finger food.
Yeah, lots of olive oil, half a bottle.
Oh, right. Yeah. Half
It's good for the skin. It's like,
Right. For my skin routine. No. Yeah, so I eat a lot and I work out a lot. So it works out.
That's good. So
tell me about the biggest doubts that you had since the beginning of your journey, and how did you handle those fears and those doubts? Because back to what JC was talking about, there are a lot of aspiring entrepreneurs out there who don't pursue an opportunity because of fear of rejection. So how can they tackle that situation?
Yeah, fear of failure is one of the biggest roadblocks that people face in launching anything. And I think for me, that was the initial hump of just launching something, because I had worked at other startups before, but I was never the founder. I was never running the company. I was just a member of the team. And I think that initial doubt is, can I do this? And until you do it, you're always going to have some level of doubt. I think for me, I have a lot of confidence even at that level. So I did make the leap, and here we are. But the next stage after you make the leap and you have some level of success is, how big can this get?
How can I scale this up?
And how do you get more, right? So not more money per se, but more impact, or more, whatever the thing is you're trying to do, making it bigger. So, okay, you got one paying customer. Well, can we get 100, 1,000? Can we get 10 million? And actually, I set very high expectations. And when we weren't hitting some of the numbers that I thought we could, that's when you start to feel doubt, because you think, I thought we could hit 10 million downloads by now, but we're at 2 million. 2 million is still a big number, but it's not 10. I was projecting much larger.
You're not even at 20%. You're at 20%.
And so you doubt what you thought was possible, and then that doubt creeps into every aspect of the business and even your life.
And how did that affect on you personally? Like, did you lose friends? Did you start becoming cranky?
I think you lose patience. Yeah. I'd like to think I'm not too crazy, but you do lose patience. And because you have these expectations and you're trying to hit a certain level and you're not, and you have to have some level of impatience. Because if you're too patient, like, nothing's going to happen.
You're going to miss out.
You got to take action.
You're going to miss out. So to every successful app founder and every successful entrepreneur, they failed many times before they actually won. And you haven't failed, and that's great. You started something, you won.
I haven't failed publicly.
Nice.
Yeah,
There's plenty of little things that don't work.
Well, I mean, you started something that's your first business idea and it worked. Correct? It's not like you've been through like five times. It didn't take you 15 years.
But let me give you an example of something we launched that failed miserably.
Okay, so
this is a good one. Yeah. So within the brand of My Swim, we launched another app.
Okay.
We launched an app in 2019. Around the time we're talking about this million, right? We launched another app. Maybe we were overconfident because we're hitting these benchmarks and we're scaled. Okay, we got swimming figured out. Now we're going to launch another app in a different category for triathlon. We launched in 2019. We think we're adding a lot of value. Then 2020 hits the pandemic. All events get canceled. So all triathlon
So it wasn't your mistake. It was just the timing.
Well, the timing is one thing, but we didn't really get that much traction before the pandemic. This just made it. This is like the nail in the coffin.
So it was a shit idea.
It was an okay idea that got pounded away. And so also when you're trying to work on too many things at the same time, so like it was still valid, but it's not valid to work on so many things at the same time. So 2020 happens. We ended up shutting down the app in 2021.
And how did that feel?
It felt horrible because we invested so much time and energy. And really at that point, it was less of an ego bruise, more of a, we just wasted a lot of time.
Because you thought, okay, I won with this one, and I was 23 when I started it. Now I'm wiser, smarter,
Exactly.
I have more resources, and I'm failing.
And
that's why I'm asking you this
exactly.
question. So failure is still an option even after you're successful?
Oh yeah, and actually the failures become magnified because in the beginning, you're just kind of wasting your own time. So if you fail, it's a learning experience, but you still spent time working on that, and that could be a failure. When we were scaled out, we had multiple people working on this thing. So if you compound all of those people's times, and if you have a bigger company or if you have a bigger team, now maybe you're investing 50 people's time on a project, and that could be a complete failure. But if you're at that ability to have 50 people work on a project, you might have 500 people working on the main thing. So it's all relative. The failures are a lot bigger though.
One of my favorite topics is management, hiring, firing, leadership. And I love asking questions about this stuff.
Yeah, great.
So let's get into it.
Yes.
How did you hire your first employee? Did you run the interview? What were the questions that you asked?
Right. I recruited our first full-time team member. She was doing marketing, and now she's our VP of marketing 5 years later. So
she's still there.
She's still and now she's running a team of 5 people, and she was the first full-time hire that we had. So I actually recruited her because she was in the community. She had the swimming background. She had worked at another startup doing marketing, and I actually got introduced to her and some other people. And I, reached out. We did an interview, a series of conversations. It was pretty simple.
What did you like about her? Why did you hire her?
She had the right mix of domain expertise, like swimming, and marketing experience, and her vibe it fit like our company culture. Okay. Even though we didn't really have a company culture at the time because there were 3 of us.
Do you still remember the interview? Did you even interview her?
Yeah, we did an actual interview.
You want the job?
It's interesting?
You're cute.
No. We did an interview, and we were at a WeWork location at the time. And I remember she came in relatively casually dressed, and I wasn't wearing a suit, but I was wearing like a button-down shirt. And it's like, I thought I was gonna meet with like these 2 guys, and they were wearing like button-downs. So she thought like, what am I getting myself into? Because we were probably like overdressed for it. I don't regret like what I wore, but I remember that. But she came in with like 6 pages of notes of what we could improve with our marketing strategy.
And prepared.
So she came prepared, even though she didn't know about the company before. She was a swimmer, so she at least had that context.
How did you feel about these 6 pages from just a stranger who didn't even help building this app?
Well, it showed that she was interested and serious. Because, you talk to some people, it's like, I would like a new job or whatever.
Did you get offended?
No, I appreciated it. I think we were good at receiving feedback. And today we're still good at receiving feedback. Now there's almost an expectation. If I talk to someone, if they're at that point where I'm having a conversation, and they don't know anything about our company or me, that's basically an insult and a waste of my time.
And how come did she last all these years? Like, were you a good leader, or she found great value in this company? She fell in love with it. Did you pay her enough?
I think it's a combination of everything you mentioned. I think there's, we were building a good culture. I'd like to think we're a very fun company. We go on these team retreats, Spain, Castle, right? We're doing fun stuff. And she's been able to grow in her role. So she started taking over all the marketing stuff I was doing. And now we've scaled out to a team where she has 5 people. And she's managed all of those people and taught them. And so I think there's a lot of growth all around.
Was she delivering what you're asking or more?
I mean, for the most part, what we're asking and more. Otherwise, she wouldn't be running our marketing team.
This is like for the people to hear, because employees out there, they're being coached to, hey, you're asked to do from 1 to 10. Don't do 10.5.
Yeah, that's not going to cut it, especially small. Yeah, it's not.
And then they think they will end up CEOs or millionaires just because, I'm so smart. I don't let my boss take advantage of me.
The biggest thing that people screw up at any level, whether you're a team of 5 or 500, not realizing like why you're employed at the company in the first place. Like the company has a certain objective. It's to make money and deliver a product or whatever. How do you contribute to that? Because if you have to question and you can't come up with the answer, it's like the Office Space quote. What would you say you do here? If you can't answer that question and how you tie what you do to the company making money, that's a problem. You're probably not going to be employed there very long.
Well, let's be honest. The business culture in North America right now is, hey, I work with this boss so I can pay my bills, not because I want to help this boss make more money.
Right. And I think that's a limiting mindset, though, because you're only going to get so far if that's how a lot of people think like that. But you're not going to move up the ranks, start your own company. That's not the mindset of someone who can start a company.
What is a big mistake you did with hiring and now you don't do anymore and you learn from this mistake?
Yeah, I think a mistake that I've made several times actually is hiring people with the hope that they will learn a new skill. But they haven't proven that ability in the past.
So based on their possible potential.
But no, so you hire for potential for sure, but they're maybe not qualified right now, but you think they can grow to a qualified role because of that. And you do hire for aptitude.
You can fix them.
Yeah, maybe fix them, or they're lacking in a skill or something. And it's like, they'll be able to learn that. No, they should probably already be solid at the main thing that you're trying to hire them for. They could learn other skills.
Don't hire the 6s.
Yeah, they can learn other skills, but for the main thing that you're hiring the person for, they should be pretty good at that one thing. It's great if they're good at other stuff, but you're not hiring them for those other things. So I used to think, this person has shown skill, they can learn. That's all great, but fundamentally, they need to be able to do the thing that I'm hiring them for. And especially as you get larger and you're more specialized, you're hiring them for a specific job. If they can't do the job, like I'm not teaching you how to do the job. Like you need to be good. Now, when you're like 2 people, it's a little different because you're going to have to learn a lot of stuff. But as you get a little bit bigger, you have to already know what you're trying to do.
Was it a lonely journey for you?
I'd say yes. I think even today, it can be lonely because as you're building something, no one can really associate to what you're actually doing. Even, I have a CTO, he's on the board with me, and I think he recognizes too, I was on a short sabbatical a month ago. He was basically running the company, and he was like happy that I was back. He didn't have to deal with the stress and decision fatigue. So when you're running something, you have decision fatigue, and that's lonely because most people don't have to deal with that.
And how do you deal with this loneliness?
I go to the pool.
Distract yourself?
I go to the pool. I swim. I go to the pool and swim. That's what I do.
How do you celebrate? I swim. When you're sad, what do you do? I swim. When you're depressed,
I go to the pool. That's what I do. And I mean, it's just working out in general. And I like to challenge myself because if I just swim, it gets boring. That's why I started the company in the first place. So sometimes I find myself like, I'm bored with my routine and I started a company to solve this problem. So I'll still compete and I'll find more interesting fitness ways to challenge myself.
Do you have any plans of starting a family or you're just too busy swimming?
Yeah, I think that's the next, the wife's going to have to deal with my swimming, but I think that's the next stage.
You can swim together, have like indoor pool, make the babies there,
Yeah, I'll teach you some
came while we were swimming.
Exactly. Okay. So I'd like to start a family and
Okay, that's awesome. Do you have like a certain age? You're like, you're 31 now, no?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you're like 42, 35.
Oh, I think
32
40.
years.
Hopefully, I'm married and have kids by 42. Yeah, so I'm in the market.
Is there like
so.
so you're,
So,
you're
like,
in the
I mean,
market.
I don't know why
okay,
it
okay.
would take 11 years. I'm like, crap, that's a long time from now, isn't it?
Well, listen, he's handsome, he's smart, well spoken.
He swims.
I appreciate
swims.
it. I know how to swim. On the resume, I know how to
He
swim.
knows how to do the butterfly.
Yeah, exactly.
So you talked about firing and hiring, and now that we got into the personal section,
Right.
what are the qualifications, if you want to call that, to the woman that you want to start a family with?
Oh, this is good. We really changed gears here. Okay. Wow. All right. Yeah. I think someone who's aligned in values, that's probably the most important thing. So they don't have to swim per se. They should probably respect the fact that I'm into fitness and health and take care of my body, and they'd probably do the same thing. But I think values, and I mean, the way I was raised,
What are the
family
values?
right? Like traditional family values. I think my ideal partner has their own life. They're not like dependent on me to do everything and just kind of waiting around
you
for
want
me to do
her
stuff. They have like their
to
own
have a
life and
career.
interests. Yeah, they can have the career, interests, hobbies, do that thing. I also like to travel, so if someone's like scared of airplanes, that might not be a good fit and things like that. Yeah.
Blondie, brunette, like give me spices. Give me,
I think okay, so
I was too
think-
polite.
everything is so polite.
I
like,
didn't
come
want to
on.
ask that
Yeah.
question. I knew you
No,
would
I'm
step in.
gonna be blunt. Like there has to be some level of
And I
physical
can tell you like
attraction.
them pencils, no? Because you want her so fit.
Okay, so a couple things there. So there has to be some physical attraction, right? And
Okay.
sometimes people are like, oh, there's great family, great, cool, but like,
needs
what
to
do
be
they look
hot,
like?
yes.
They need to be attractive. I'm not okay. So they got to be attractive. Fitness, yeah, they don't have to be a supermodel per se, but like I'm a pretty fit guy too, so I have some level of standard that you don't have to be a bodybuilder, but like
Just
some level of-
reciprocate the same level. Yeah.
some level of fitness. Honestly, they don't have to be like as fit as me, whatever. Like just some level of fitness, right?
Blonde, brunette, tall, short.
We can
gotta
go a couple
entertain the
options there.
audience.
No,
Come
we got
on,
a couple.
man.
I don't
He
know
doesn't.
that
He
detail.
doesn't want
Well,
to shut
there's
the
some people wants to
potential.
apply.
Yeah, I want
right
to
now.
keep
It
the
can
high.
be
I
both.
want to
It
keep
can
the
be
funnel
both.
high, keep the funnel large, and then we narrow it down later. Let's not narrow it down too much.
Okay, good. That's smart, actually. What's next for you?
Scaling, and that's one of the difficult things. Like we have a great product, we have a great business. We just want to get more people swimming. How do I get more people in the pool? How do we get more content out? How do we get more downloads? So on the business side, that, and then we just talked about the family side. That's the next step there.
Are you ever thinking of selling this company, or that's your baby? Would you consider selling? That's the question.
Yes, I would. Yeah, for sure.
like
And
that.
a lot of it is because we've taken on outside investment. So when you raise money, there's an
Pay them
expectation. The only way you get your return is when we are acquired, go public, private equity, something like
Is there a
that.
price point in your head? Like, is it?
It's not really a price point. Actually, there are a few price points that need to make sense. I'll give you an example. Like right now, we're raising at a 15 million valuation. It wouldn't make sense to sell anything under that, right? Like it just doesn't make sense. So some multiple of that is probably when it gets very interesting. Like if someone just came here and said, "Your business, we'll take it, 50 million." We probably have it. I can't speak on behalf of my co-founder, but like we'd probably take that deal.
I feel
Right?
like I'm in Shark Tank.
We would probably take that deal.
Let's say you sold the company. What's
Right.
next? Like, do you have an idea? Is there like something you're dreaming of right now that you want to start?
Yeah, it's an
Like climbing
interesting-
mountains app or something.
Yeah, no, I don't know if I would want to start another company because I know how difficult it is. And at that point, whether I'm 42 or whatever, I'd like to focus more on my family than start another company. Maybe I would start another company, but I'd have to do it differently than I did the last one. I don't know if it would be in swimming and fitness and technology. I've written 2 books, so I have other books that I want to write, so I might
I
invest
think
more
you
time
should
there.
consider coaching. If you sell the company, you should become a coach because
Like a business coach or a swim coach?
Business coach.
Okay, business coach. Okay.
But the amount of people that I know that they have great,
Right.
like they pitch me their ideas. One of them is her boyfriend, is like very creative guy.
Yeah.
Is like some ideas for apps that doesn't exist yet, like
Right.
and they don't know where to go from there.
Yeah.
And if you can like create this course and this coaching, like how
Yeah.
how to start an app and how
There's
to
a lot of
put it out
opportunities
there.
for coaching.
Yeah.
Whether or not I might just volunteer and do that. I do give back, actually. I do a lot of events and mentorship like that. But to do it professionally and get paid to do it, I don't know. If I have a big event like that where I sell a company for 50 million, I'm probably not going to be looking for a financial job where I make money at that point. So I might be looking at like reinvesting the money, philanthropy, swimming, like traveling the world to swimming pools.
I have a multiple choice list of questions for you. Are you
Oh boy.
ready?
All
Are
right.
you
A
ready?
through D?
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Almost.
Oh
You
boy.
could do eeny meeny if you're not sure about the answer.
Oh shoot. Okay. The answer is C, right? Option C is the default we go with.
I got lots of notifications here. Okay, let's pop the questions.
Okay.
So you have to be quick. You have to answer quickly,
All right,
and
let's see what
only
we
from
can
the
do.
options that I have.
Okay.
I know control issues, right?
No, it's okay. It's good to
All right.
have constraints. It's fine.
Exactly.
Boundaries.
Let's go. What makes you rich? Money, knowledge, or happiness?
Knowledge.
Why did you start your business? Lack of job opportunities, to prove something, or to follow a dream?
What was the first one?
Lack of job opportunities.
Oh no, I think follow a dream.
Follow a dream. Money to me is a protection, a weapon, or a bridge.
A bridge.
I'm successful because I was patient, I was impatient, or in between.
Impatient.
If I could go back, I would invest my money in real estate, on myself, coaching, mentoring, or crypto and stocks.
Myself.
Do you give back? You said yes. Are you a strict boss, flexible, or asshole?
I'm flexible.
Flexible. Political party, you can skip on this one. That's the only question you can say.
I'll
pass.
skip. Yeah, I'll skip.
Yes.
Take it. Is there like the in between? It's passes.
Does your business affect your life? Yes, it's my whole life. No, I have a life balance.
I have a life balance. I couldn't answer that 5 years ago. It was not. It was my life. Now
I think I want to ask you this question after you get married and you have kids, and then we'll see.
Okay.
Work hard or work smart?
Is there no both?
Yes.
Both. Fill in both with circles.
Would you rather deal with clients or team, like with your subscribers, get feedback for in your situation, get feedback?
Our team.
Your team. What do you love the most about your team?
Are there options?
No, this is not. This is not a multiple question. That's an open question.
I love that we have a shared passion for what we're doing, and they follow my direction, and they could easily go work somewhere else, but they chose to work under my leadership. So I'm very appreciative of that.
What do you think is the best leadership skill that you have that makes you stand up from all other leaders?
I think being able to transfer my enthusiasm for what I'm doing and communicate that to a clear strategy.
And you usually use a polite approach, kind approach, or straightforward?
Straightforward. I'm very straightforward.
Straightforward. And they like that.
Yeah, I think people don't want someone to beat around the bush. They just, what are the facts? I'm very fact-driven, which makes you straightforward, and people appreciate that.
Most of your team are virtual or local? Like
We started in Michigan, and now we're fully remote.
fully remote. They're from all over the world? Or
All over the
from
world,
US?
across 11 time zones, from California all the way to Ukraine.
I have a great question for you then. Do you sense the business culture differences between your team? Like the people working from Ukraine or, I don't know, Middle East
Yes.
or India? Or
Yes.
Yeah. So which one's your favorite business culture?
I don't know if I have enough knowledge about all the different business cultures, but there are pros and cons of both. So like the American style working culture, there are some things about that are different than, like in Ukraine, his name is Max. Like he's awesome. He's very straightforward. He works incredibly hard. He's very literal. So if this is the specification that we're doing, he will follow it to the T, which is good because that's what we're asking him for. In America, it's a little bit more like, I think, creative, innovative. So if, the rules are kind of like guidelines, people are more willing to break the rules, which is bad. There are rules for a reason, but it's also good because that's how you get true innovation, by not bending, but like seeing the rule and then finding a better way to make it.
So the Americans for sales and creativity.
Potentially for
Ukrainians
creative
production.
innovation. For innovation, yeah. We have a team member in Brazil. She's very creative. So it's hard to, you can't really stereotype entire cultures.
Who's more hardworking? Like, I gotta ask you some hard questions that not other
Yeah.
podcasts ask. Like, I'm sorry.
Hardworking. I mean, while there are hardworking people everywhere, I think
Do you have any Canadians in your team?
no one from Canada.
Good job.
Well, maybe one day, but the population is only like 30 million. US is 10 times the size, so the likelihood
Dude,
is
we have
not.
the laziest motherfuckers on earth. Laziest, most entitled people on earth, man.
Oh, entitlement's another thing. Yeah, so I would say the American audience for sure is more entitled than most other parts of the world. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's more entitlement
Because
for sure.
they're from the best country in the world, or why?
It's a culture thing. No, I think people think they're from the best. Like we're better than everyone.
Like
whatever.
American in general, or just white people?
No, I don't think it.
No
I don't
offense,
think it
Tommy.
matters. No, I don't think it matters your race. You can be
It's
very
just-
entitled to any.
You were born
any
in
race.
the US
Yeah.
or North America, you're entitled automatically.
No, but you're more likely to be entitled.
Why is
I
that?
don't
Why
want
do
to
you
say
think?
everyone
Why is
in,
that? Why is that?
North America is entitled.
What do you think is that?
What do I think that is? I think it's just back to the values. It's just the value system of generations who have been here, and the way the rules are set up, the politics, the culture, maybe even religion ties in this a little bit. It just gives that vibe.
I'm gonna allow you to ask whatever you want before I end the podcast with my last question. So who wants to go first? You can ask both of us anything, and she can ask you.
My question for both of you,
it.
because you guys are in the hot seat all the time, so you're interviewing people from different industries and whatever. What is something that is consistent across all of them that you disagree with? That you personally are like, you know what? A lot of people come on the podcast and they say kind of the same thing or whatever, and I don't really see eye to eye with a lot of people.
I'll go first. In the business podcast, I'll talk because we have two podcasts.
Yeah,
She has her own podcast, which is about mental health, and I co-host Reflective Odysseys. And this podcast is mine, and she co-hosts with me sometimes.
Right, okay.
I have multiple co-hosts. People are afraid of saying the truth most of the time. They want to put makeup on it. They want it to look sexy and cute and polite and smooth. And I don't allow this on my podcast. I always push. Yeah. I want to hear what you would say after a bottle of wine. I want to hear the fucking truth. Why? Because I'm not here to promote you.
Yeah.
You're already a millionaire. I'm here to help the audience and behind the scene. I don't want them to get the fake truth.
Yeah,
I want them to know who to hire for production. I don't want to, everyone is great. Everyone is nice. All politics are awesome. Everyone has advantages. Don't give me these fucking answers.
Yeah,
Give me honesty. And everyone tries to run away from honesty, but I end up getting this out of them. Yeah. And I understand. Listen, you don't want to talk. You don't want to be known on social media and then say something controversial because it will backfire at you.
Yeah.
But I always warn people, you want to come on my podcast, you got to be honest.
Yeah, of course.
If you can't say the honesty, and I appreciate, I end up getting some good answers out of you.
Yeah, there we go. Good. I like the push. It's good.
Thank you.
On my podcast, it's a little bit different because it's a lot more personal. It's a lot more intimate.
We interview fucked up people.
You're diving in pretty deep.
Right.
I think we're all messed up to a certain extent, right? So it's very difficult when you're put in front of a magnified glass and everyone's like hyper fixating on your flaws and the mistakes that you've made, because that's how they learn to overcome the obstacles that they can relate to with you. Right. But I feel like something that's been a bit consistent is lack of grace towards themselves in their mental health journey, which ties in a little bit into the victim mentality. Right. And then what comes in after he grills them is is the justification. And that's when I'm giving them all the tricks. But when they start justifying, that's when you actually start getting the answers. They think they're defending themselves, but they fall into the trap of actually giving you the real story after. So at the beginning, it's more of, I did it, I overcame, and this is what I did, and this is what you can do. But then we dig a little deep, and that's where the can of worms.
Everyone was the victim, so you always interview these people, and everyone tells you life was hard, but I overcame. Like, no, life wasn't hard. You were stupid.
Stop complaining. Go do something.
It's taking accountability in your own suffering as well.
Right?
Yeah.
Think about it this way: you had nothing to complain about. You could have done something better. You could have ran away. You decided to stay there. You stay in your trouble. Surround yourself. It was a choice. So
no one forced
life gave you choices. You picked the wrong one. So it's on you. Don't blame life. Blame your wrong decisions.
Learn and go make another choice.
Exactly. But you can't just tell them this in the first 10 minutes.
That hurts though. Like you were saying, it hurts when you hear that.
When you tell them this at the end of the podcast,
they thank you
through lots of traps.
You had an hour of building.
Exactly. Ask them questions. You make them realize that they were idiots, and then you tell them, "Hey, it's not too late. You can make the right choice."
I mean, it's a cliche, but it's very true. Yes, you can't control the circumstances you were born into or what happens to you, but you do decide how you go from there. And as cliche as it sounds, that's really all it is.
I already have a question for Faris.
No,
that's it.
If I'm gonna ask, it's gonna be related to mental health.
No.
All right, either whatever you guys do your thing. Yeah.
Take a takeaway message to young female and male out there who wants to start a business, who wants to grow. Maybe they are in the middle of it, but they're feeling that they're trapped and they're almost failing. Give me takeaway message.
You have to trust your gut, because if you feel that there's something there, people are gonna doubt you. People are gonna hate on your ideas. But you have to actually go and make it happen. And the only way that's going to happen is if you follow your instinct. If you listen to too many people who throw hate on you, it's just going to inhibit whatever potential that you have. So Don't listen to the haters. Trust your gut. Go out and make it happen.
I love it. Thank you, Faris. That was a great interview. I love it. Thank you for your honesty. Thank you for Cheddar Studios. Thank you, Tommy. Thank you, my co-host. I thank you for me spending the time.
Thank you for the soup, man.
Thank you, motherfuckers.
Thank you to both of you for your time and your
Of
questions
course.
and pushing the honesty and everything.
Absolutely no problem.
Download the
That's a
app.
wrap. Download the app.
Yeah.
Download the app. Let's go swimming.
Let's go.
Woo!